This is for the engineers in the town of Cicero. I move to approve the engineering firm of CNS Companies, Ron Dakota, as engineer for the town at an annual retainer fee of $50,000.
Second.
I think this also would require some discussion, as there has not been a new town attorney engineer appointed in several years. There hasn't been a new engineer appointed since I've been on the board. And I know Brian Gear has been primary engineer since the last 30 years or so. I would ask the same questions. Like I said before, I had a discussion with the supervisor-elect at the time relative to a town engineer, and was told that a selection had already been made at CNS. At that time, it was last Tuesday, and I was provided a packet of information relative to the CNS engineers and what they were going to work on for the town. However, the packet was dated December 2nd, and I just received it last week. Mr. Conway, have you received that packet of information?
No, I didn't.
I would ask the same questions then relative to the selection of CNS engineers as a town in this matter before the board. What, if any, process or protocol was followed in order for the selection of this engineering firm? Was there any bids selected, or was there a process where various firms were interviewed?
There were several bids that came in, or requests came in, not bids, requests. And the process for selection was, because the CNS Engineering has agreed to working with us on a 2-year economic development proposal to create more business for the town on a no-fee basis, that this is a 2-year free consultation where they are going to be working with our Committee for Urban Development. That was the choice that was made.
Was there, in regards to the other bids, do you have any information or packets of information from other firms?
I do.
Was that, were any other board members given that information besides the supervisor?
Yes.
Would that also be Ms. Zambrano and Mr. Jennings?
Certainly.
Vern, did you receive any?
No.
In regards to the annual retainer rate of $50,000, I believe O'Brien and Gear annual retainer rate was $34,000. Are you aware of that, Ms. Boyke?
Yes, I am. Would you like...
Is this annual retainer, how is it being paid, and...
would you like CNS Engineering there here, a representative to answer your questions for you?
That would be fantastic.
What was the question, Jim?
And relative to the $50,000 annual retainer, would that be...
How is it to be paid?
I haven't seen that in your packet. Is that a monthly installment, or?
As I understand it, the budget for town board services is $50,000. We've got it set up on an hourly basis. We will only bill for time spent at the rates that are set forth in the rate schedule that was provided. Am I speaking loud enough? Can you hear me okay?
If you could speak in the mic, so everybody
I'm not sure.
can hear you.
I'm not sure.
Is
that better?
Oh, much better.
Much better. Okay. Sorry. Did you hear what I said?
So it would be an hourly rate billed against the retainer.
That's right. Well, it's an hourly billed against the budget of $50,000.
Okay. As opposed to a disbursement each month made for $50,000 divided by 12 or whatever it might be.
That's correct.
And in regards to this additional free service, or corridor study, or whatever that may be, could you describe to me what that?
We have been asked to assist the community with this effort. The details of that are in process of being worked out. We have yet to be appointed, but that has been our offer to assist with that effort.
So there's nothing in writing guarantee this free additional service for the Northern Boulevard corridor?
There is nothing in writing, but that's our commitment.
More of a...
That's my commitment to you tonight.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Was there any other interviews conducted face-to-face, if I may ask, or just with CNS?
Yes, there was.
And how many firms?
Just one other.
Would that be O'Brien and Gear?
It was not.
Who was that?
Bryant Associates.
Okay, I have no other questions.
Thank you.
Mr. Conway?
No.
Mr. Jennings?
Yes.
Ms. Zimbrano?
Yes.
Mr. Corl?
No.
Ms. Boyke?
Yes.
And once again, I think that a decision of this magnitude, once again, nothing in CNS, they have a very good reputation amongst the community. Once again, though, there should be an open process for the selection of a new town engineer, one in which all board members are party to and have information and have quotes from other firms to determine, make sure the residents of the town of Cicero are getting the best value for what they're paying for. And therefore, I'll make a similar type resolution in regards to this type of service being bid out on a request for proposals. The planning board, I've mentioned also, has done that with their town and attorney. And it worked out very well from what I've heard, in that they had an open process, interviews were conducted, and the selection was made. So following that lead, I also make a motion that the town of Cicero seek bids and request for proposals from engineering firms to provide engineering services for the town of Cicero to include day-to-day activities, consultation for stormwater drainage, inspection of developments, acceptance of road projects, sewer systems, holding of securities, to name a few of the services which the town needs. Such proposals shall include a general retainer and what services will be included, along with fees that may be incurred outside the general retainer with an hourly rate provided. Such bids should be submitted to the town, and it would be publicized. And once we receive all the bids, that we'll be able to conduct an interview. All the bids will be received with all the board members, so a decision can be made with all the information presented to everybody involved with this process. And that's in the form of a motion. Anybody want to second my motion?
Second.
Mr. Conway?
Yeah, no.
Mr. Jennings?
No.
Ms. Zimbrano?
No.
Mr. Corl?
Yes.
Ms. Boyke?
No. Moving on to the alternate engineer for the town of Cicero. I move to appoint the engineering firm of Bryant Associates, PC, as the alternate engineers to serve at the discretion of the town board.
Second.
Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Jennings?
Yes.
Ms. Zimbrano?
Yes.
Mr. Corl?
No, once again, I've received no information as to Bryan Associates, no retainer, no hourly fee as to what would be incurred. Not one piece of literature or information has been shared with me relative to Bryan Associates. I have no idea what their qualifications may or may not be.
Ms. Boyke?
Yes.
The motion passed. May we move on?
Yes. Okay. The 2010 benefit eligibility. I move that the 2010 permanent part-time position must work 1,040 hours to be eligible for part-time benefits, and the 2010 full-time positions must work 40 hours per week to be eligible for the full-time employee benefits.
Second.
Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Jennings?
Yes.
Ms. Zimbrano?
Yes.
Mr. Corl?
Yes.
Ms. Boyke?
Yes.